We're joined now by head coach Andy Toole of the Robert Morris Colonials, and I don't even want to ask a question. I just want to get your reaction.
Yeah, and it was a really hard-fought, gutty win, and we kept talking to our guys about trying to make plays. And we've been in this situation, the last couple games, and we're able to get over the top against Towson, but then kind of let a couple get away against Youngstown and against Lehigh. And so, it was a situation where we talked about, trying to get over the hump. And there was going to be some difficult decisions that guys had to make. We talked about, doing the more difficult right than the easier wrong. And I felt like in the last couple of games we kind of let ourselves off the hook and said, oh, this is going to be too hard, or oh, I can't make that play, or some of those kind of situations. And we continued to work with it. We continued to fight, and we were able to come out on top.
I'll tell you one thing. I hate to even point out one guy on this ball club, but I've got to go straight to Clive Allen, Coach. Just a tremendous effort, particularly at the line. He looked like a senior, not a freshman playing in his 10th game.
Well, he's certainly a guy who plays with some poise and has some maturity. He wants to be out there. He wants to have the ball, and I kind of challenged him late in the game. He gave up a three here in this corner to Isaiah Mike, and then he gave up a rebound to Mike as well on a switch. And I kind of said, you got to step up and make a play. You owe us. He took a couple little breaks there and resulted in 5 points, and it was really the last handful of points they were able to score. And so I was glad he was able to step up and make it. Obviously, we struggled from the free throw line as a group. I don't even want to tell you what we shot yesterday in practice, but that's something that we got to continue to work on and continue to put an emphasis on. But really, really big confidence booster for him and for us that he's able to step up there and make 4 big ones late.
Head coach Andy Toole of the Robert Morris Colonials. They knock off Duquesne here in Pittsburgh tonight, 64-60 at the PPG Paints Arena. Jim.
Coach, I thought you two guys that had the most experience stepped up big at the end of the game. Isaiah Steele with that one sequence where he scored that tough basket. Then he comes down and blocks the shot, and Kayvon Stewart, just a huge, they were daring him to shoot, and he knocked it down. I thought they were just tremendous.
And we talked about that. Kayvon obviously is a guy who's been streaky as a shooter, and if I was playing against him too, I'd try and make him make shots as opposed to get to the rim because he creates so much havoc once he gets in there. But, he stepped up and made the big one, and, he's a guy who, when you challenge him, he usually rises to that occasion. And, they challenged him to make some, and he certainly did that. And Isaiah, made some really big plays late in the game, especially the block on Blackman in transition, where he was able to keep his body in front of him, use his length, and make it more difficult for him to score. And, Clyde was able to dig out that loose ball. So, both of those guys stepped up. It's a situation where we, a lot of times early in the year, everyone's looking at the new guys and what they're not doing right. And at halftime, we kind of said to all of our returners, well, let's make sure that you guys are, completely have your I's dotted and your T's crossed so that you're able to do anything possible to help us win the game. And I think a lot of guys stepped up and did that.
Colonials win it 64-60 over the Dukes here tonight at PPG.
First half, I thought your rebounding was tremendous. You dominated the boards. You had 8 offensive rebounds, and in the second half, looks like Duquesne kind of upped their intensity on the boards and maybe got themselves back in the game. But just this Colonial team seems to rebound and come up with big rebounds when he needs to.
Well, Aaron obviously helps with that, and Billy, Matty was able to dig a bunch out today, and it's something that we work on every day. Last year we were not a good rebounding team, and we really try to emphasize how important that is. Obviously Sanders was a monster on the glass. He's a hard guy to keep off that glass, and he plays with such energy. He was able to really get opportunities in there. But I'm just thankful that we were able to get the ones that we really needed down the stretch, and we'll look at the film and worry about some of the other ones tomorrow.
You go up against a team that obviously imposes itself physically. They're a big, tough, rough-looking ball club. They come out on the court. The Colonials are a little bit shorter physically, but obviously there's a message taken from this ball game. If you work hard enough, you can beat almost anybody.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. It's following our formula, being in the right spot. You know what? If you're in the right spot and you're handling your business, and someone makes a shot, or someone's able to just be better than you or more talented than you, okay, I got that. But if you're not in your spot and you're not following our formula and we're having breakdowns, that's where the issues arise. And I think, you can see when we keep guys out of the middle of the floor, when our switches are urgent, when we're closing out hands high, we make it difficult on teams to score. And when we're not doing that, it's like, they get whatever they want. And hopefully we're starting to learn that lesson. If we can continue to play like that for entire stretches of games, then maybe we can have some more success.
Andy Toole's team wins at 64-60 tonight. Robert Morris over Duquesne. Jimmy, one more question.
Yeah, just the identity of this team starting to come into focus, Coach. It's hard defense for a full game, and just score enough points to beat the other team. We're obviously not a great offensive basketball team, but do seem to be getting better offensively.
Yeah, we're going to continue to work at it. You know, it's not always the prettiest, it's not always the smoothest, but that's who we are. And, you know, I think we can figure out enough if we can, you know, continue to defend the right way, and, you know, if we can keep working on our offense and make some quicker decisions and make some better reads and have some more pace, you know, I think we can, you know, be serviceable enough on the offensive side of the floor. But, you know, this program was built on its, you know, our blue-collar mentality of rebounding the basketball, of being tough defensively and not giving you an inch. And guys are starting, I think, to embrace that a little bit, and you know, we need to keep working at that and keep getting better at it. But like I said, we made the stops and got the stops tonight when we needed them.
You echoed my statements at the tail end of the ball game when the clock went down to 0. I said it wasn't real pretty, but I got to tell you something, that was sweet.
Yeah, great minds think alike, Shub.
I think so, too. Coach Andy Toole joining us here at PPG Paints Arena. Congratulations, Coach, and we'll see you Saturday against a very tough Oakland club.
They certainly are, so we got to make sure that we're prepared and ready and willing to fight the same way we were tonight.
All right, we hope that they are indeed. Robert Morris versus Oakland this coming Saturday at 4 o'clock.